today's video, we will talk about tautology and self-contradiction. What is tautology? When we say tautology, a statement that is always true. And what is self-contradiction? When we say self-contradiction, a statement that is always false. So first, let's talk about tautology. And we will have an example. So let's determine the truth table if it is tautology. Okay, we already know about truth tables as we've talked about it last time. So in constructing a truth table, so we will determine the rows. So since we have only one variable, so we only have two rows. So that's why we have true and false. So this is already balanced. And we also talked about negation. So negation is the opposite of our proposition. So since it is true, so the negation of P is false. So since this is false, so the negation of false is true. So now let's determine if P, so this one is, this symbol we talked already, this one. This is or. So when we say or, if we have this symbol, so at least one proposition is true. So at least one is true. So the entire statement will always be true. So let's have, we will find P or negation P. So P is T and negation of P is false. So at least one. So P or, so at least one statement that is true. So the entire statement will be true. And this one, P is false and negation P is true. So there is one true. So the entire statement will be true. So since the statement is all true, so this is a tautology. So this statement is a tautology. We have the second example. So let's see if it is a tautology, if the statement is tautology. So this can be read as Q or negation of Q and R and negation of Q. So this one, we will have to construct a truth table. So you notice we have 4 rows because we have formula 2 to the power of n. And since we have 2 variables, so that is 2. 2 to the power of 2 is 4. So that's why we have 4 rows. And we have Q and R. Then this should be balanced in constructing a truth table. So first, we will find first the negation of Q. So since it is true, so it would be false. And this one is true, so it would be false. And this is false, it would be true. And this one is false, so it is true. Because we have here negation Q, so that's why we should find first negation Q. And we have to find Q and R. So Q and R. So when we have a symbol and, so we should know that the two statement must have two truths. Like two statements should, if one statement is false, then the entire statement is false. So that's dapat duha jud siya. Okay? And Q and R, so this one is true and true, so it would be true. So since this is true and false, so one statement is false, so the entire statement will be false. This one statement is false, so automatic, it would be false. And two statement is false, so this would be false. And then we will find the negation of Q and R. So this one is Q and R, so let's just let's find the opposite of this one. So the opposite of true is false, and the opposite of false is true, and the opposite of false is true, and the opposite of false is true. Since we are done with negation of Q and R, so let's find negation Q and R and negation Q. This one, and this one. Okay, let's focus on this one. So we will find this. Okay, so since this two statement is false, so it will be automatic false. Okay, dapat man true ang duha. In this one statement is false, so automatic it is false. A two statement is true, so it would be true. Two statement is true, and this would be true. So since we're done with that, so let's have the entire statement. So let's find Q, or negation of Q and R, and negation of Q. So let's focus on this one and this one. So since this is a symbol of or, so at least one statement is true, so the entire statement will be true. So this one, so na ay true, so this would be true. And this one, na ay usa ka true, so this would be true. And one statement is true, so this would be true. And one statement is true, so this would be true. So since all of these are true, so the entire statement is a tautology. Okay? And the meaning, a tautology is a statement that is always true. So this one is a tautology. So since we are done with tautology, so now let's move on to self-contradiction. So as I've said earlier, that self-contradiction is a statement that is always false. So it is the opposite of tautology. Okay, so let's have an example in order for us to know more about self-contradiction. Okay, so we will determine if this statement is a self-contradiction. So just like the tautology, we will construct a truth table. And let's find out if this one is a self-contradiction. So you've noticed we only have one variable, so 2 to the power of 1. The formula of finding rows or constructing rows, so 2 to the power of 1 is 2. So that's why we only have 2 rows, because we only have one variable. So let's find first the negation of P, so because this negation P is in that statement. So negation of P, which is true, is false. And this is false, so this one, the negation of P is true. And after that, let's find this one, the enclosed parentheses. So P, this one is a symbol for or. So in or, so at least one statement is true. So the entire statement will be true. So P, we will find P or negation of P. So our focus is this one and this one. So at least one statement is true. The entire statement will be true. So since there's one true, so this would be true. There's one true, so this would be true. And after that, we will find the negation of this one. So giuna na to ang nasasud sa parentheses before finding its negation. So let's focus on this one, the negation of our P or negation P. So we have true, so the negation of this one is false. And since it is true, the negation of this one is false. So since all of these are false, so the entire state or this statement is a self-contradiction, because self-contradiction is a statement that is always false. Now let's have the second example. So let's see if this statement is a self-contradiction. So as you've noticed, we have 4 rows, right? Because we have 2 variables, which is P and Q. Because in the formula, we have 2 to the power of n, and our n is 2, so the 2 to the power of 2 is 4, so that's why we have 4 rows. And then you construct P and Q, and this statement, these propositions should be balanced. And then after that, let's find the negation of P, because in our statement, we have negation P. Okay, so since P is true, the first row is true, so the statement, the negation of true is false. And this one, the negation of this one is false because it is true. The negation of false is true, and the negation of false is true. And after that, we will find first the inside of these parentheses, the negation of P and Q. So as you've noticed, we have symbol here, the inverted V. This is and, right? And in this symbol, we have a rule that this two statements will only be true if two statements are true. So if one is false, so the entire statement would be false. So dapat duha gyud mo'y true. Now, if two statements are false, kung false ang duha, so the entire statement would be false. So dapat duha ang true. Kung usa ka false, the entire statement would be false. So our focus is this one and this one, because we will find the negation of P and Q. So Since this is false and 1 is true, so the entire statement would be false. Kaya dapat man duha ang true. And 2 statements are false, so this would be false. And 2 statements are true, so this would be true. And 1 statement is true and the other 1 statement is false, so the entire statement would be false. Then after that, let's find the entire statement, the P and negation of P and Q. So our focus is this one and this one. So since one statement is true, so one is false, so the entire statement will be false. One statement is only true, and other one is false, so this would be false. One statement is false and one statement is true, the entire statement will be false. And 2 statements are false, so the entire statement automatic, it will be false. So since all of these are false, so the entire statement, or this statement is a self-contradiction, because in the definition of self-contradiction is a statement that is always false. Okay, we talked already about tautology and self-contradiction, right? So as a recap, so tautology is a statement that is always true, while self-contradiction is a statement that is always false. And once again, I am Kate M. Alvarez from MAID Math, and that's all. Thank you.